Big Time Men, welcome back. I'm looking forward to talking about the topic today, which came through a Twitter direct message. Some of the best topics I've received have come off the cuff in Twitter, so don't hesitate to hit me up there. So the general topic today centers around the sickness that I call the relationship buffet or the relationship treadmill. I don't know, just a couple cursory words, terms that I've used to describe this. I don't really know what to say. People get into this mindset that when not in a relationship, okay, the default is to get back into one, no matter what. They don't even know what the heck they're doing. They go ahead and do it. Well, I think that there is an issue underlying this then. What is the issue? Well, the issue is that people do not ask why. Why? Well, why do I need to ask why? Shouldn't I just hunt down the nearest Brad, Chad, Jennifer, Michelle, whatever the heck name you want to throw in there? Well, now, because if you don't ever ask why, you don't know what your goals are. And without a goal, even if your goal is to do nothing, you still have a goal. And you have to do things in order to do nothing. But we don't ask why anymore. Just in general. We just assume and we don't understand that things that are a product of mere tradition and culture aren't always beneficial. And we've lived in a culture of validation. Today is a culture of validation. We have been raised in prissy suburban areas, myself included, pursuing validation, not pursuing survival. And that's a fundamental issue if you think about it. If you don't pursue survival, you have to pursue something that mirrors it. So without survival being attained each day through work, obligations, and the fulfillment that even subsistence living can bring, you've got to throw some sort of obstacle in your way to overcome that need. And some of the things that emerge in these artificial worlds now are validation from teachers, employers, people that control your future, parents even, college selection committees, and eventually partners. You look for validation constantly, and that becomes your food. Well, if you step back and you think about why you're looking for validation, you may not actually pursue that validation anymore because you see that there's a bigger issue once again. The bigger issue could be fear, it could be lack of self-esteem or confidence, uncertainty, and at worst, a lack of identity. And all of these things exist in this type of culture and mindset that would exist in the mind of the person that left this message that was brought to my attention through a Twitter DM that I received. So let's give a quick read. It's from a viewer, and this is what he prefaces the situation with. So I'm about to send you something funny. Basically, I'm in the dating category of Reddit. I mostly throw out red pills. This 27-year-old female is complaining that she can't find anyone and is asking where to find men. My response is at the bottom. So the title of this Reddit post is "Where to Meet Guys in Person if you're not athletic." This is the weirdest subtitle there. I had heard recently that only 27% of single young adults use dating apps. Interesting. That was sort of shocking and disheartening. As someone who is recently single and not sure where to start when it comes to dating, I'm just not ready yet to do online dating, especially when it seems like most people aren't. So, where do people meet others in person? I'm a college-educated 27-year-old woman. It needed some suggestions. So the thing that's hilarious here is that later in this message, she is not ready to do online dating because people aren't, but she's actually considering going and volunteering because she believes that more people are. In terms of quantity, there's definitely more people on online dating, but in terms of, quality person, I'm not really going to get into that. I usually only see 3 suggestions for natural meetings: bars and clubs, through friends, through athletic activities. Athletic activities, really loosely defined there. I don't have any friends that will go out to bars to meet people with me. Nearly all of my friends are in relationships and just aren't into the whole bar scene. I would love to meet someone through a friend, but I've known my friends for so long that I already know of all their friends, and any social gatherings we go to are just all the same individuals again and again. And I'm not at all athletic. I'm not interested in going to the gym or rock climbing or kickboxing or even yoga. And to be totally honest, I wouldn't be into a guy that was into that sort of thing either. I know a lot of people say that the best way to meet people is through activities, but truthfully, all the activities I'm interested in are generically and predominantly female dominated, which I'm okay with. I don't need a guy to be into that stuff. But then again, it puts me at a loss for how to meet anyone. It just blows my mind. Are there the other 73% of singles only using the 3 outlets to meet people? Or are there some things I'm not thinking of? Not really sure what that sentence is going for. Any creative ideas that work for you or others you know? Edit. And I did try volunteering at some places, but volunteering where I live at least seems to be relegated again to mostly females, teenagers getting high school mandated, community service hours, and senior citizens. No success there. And here are the ensuing comments, beginning with the red pill. You can try a retirement home. In China, the women who aren't married by 27 are called the leftover women. They spent their youth getting education only to find no guy. Once them because they hit the wall. And here comes the white knight. Dang, dude, I don't think that the dating pool dies at 27. There are lonely people at every age. It might be trickier, but there's something out there for everyone, so long as expectations are reasonable. Here's the red pill again. A man that is 30 will not date a woman that is 30 when he can always get a 19 to 22-year-old woman. As long as he has money or status, he is always able to get the young, fertile one. So definitely can agree with that last statement right there. That is the red pill right there that really brings up hypergamy floats from Paul Proteus. So obviously there are exceptions to some of this, but this is very much the rule. Okay, and my initial impressions, other than just chuckling at this, because, basically it's somebody that's just not taking initiative. Bottom line, it's just somebody not asking why. But the first thing is, and it's related to that, who goes on to Reddit for dating advice? I don't know. It seems foreign to me. First of all, this woman's helpless. The red flag is going on to Reddit thinking her answers to these questions are going to be found on Reddit. Okay, if someone is interested in the dating field, I believe that the natural response should be, what can I do with my life now that will make me marketable then? You don't go to the market with nothing to offer, but apparently people think that they can just trade pyrite instead of gold, okay, which is largely the case thanks to Snapchat filters. But emphasis on recently is another thing here. So I am recently single, as she said, recently single. Okay, you have to take recently with a grain of salt. Sometimes you actually might hear, it's been a while since I've dated. And in the mind of many women, a while might be a month, which is quite asinine. Okay, let's compare lyrics from Beyonce's song Single Ladies and then go look at Leonard Skinner's song Tuesday's Gone and get a little look into where the minds are at when we look at men and women upon becoming single. Sure, there are outliers, but I think it's a pretty humorous and accurate assessment. So here it goes. Single Ladies, I'm not singing it. This is from verse 2. I put gloss on my lips, a man on my hips, hold me tighter than my dairy on jeans, acting up, drinking my cup, I can't care less what you think. I need no permission, did I mention, don't pay him any attention, 'cause you had your turn, but now you gonna learn what it really feels to miss me. So screams narcissism and attention seeking. Conversely, Tuesday's Gone, and for the sake of continuity, let's compare verse 2. And I don't know where I'm going, I just want to be left alone. Well, when this train's in, I'll try again, but I'm leaving my woman at home. Brings up Can't You See from Marshall Tucker Band as well. Very similar concept. So you know what? We've got Beyonce looking immediately for Bae number 2, 2.0 as it were. Okay, she's looking for that replacement immediately. And sure, she isn't singing as directly like Beyonce here, this person that left the Reddit comment saying, hold me tighter than my jeans, but she essentially is. People are searching for that drug known as validation today, constantly. You need that dopamine hit of validation. Where is it? Can I find it? Conversely, we've got the Leonard Skinner song, the band singing about how they just want to be left alone. Okay, that sounds good to me. Leave me alone, leave me alone. Those words within that, okay, a man is finding his own validation from within. That is MGTOW right there. It is finding the validation in that realm that you can control. Because that validation can always be taken away from you. Always. No matter who's in your life, regardless of how closely that you hold them in trust, it still can be taken away from you. You need to have that constant conduit and trust that validation can come through. And that is not from going to the bar. Okay, society has shamed this perspective though. And in fact, I think it's viewed as depression in a sense. And if you say, I just need time to find myself, or especially within our MGTOW philosophy, if you say you're abandoning these romantic relationships, you're going to be lumped into the same old category as the Unabomber, okay? A validation society is what we live in, and this situation perfectly puts that on display, okay? And it illustrates that in the situation as well when Mr. White Knight comes in, okay, looking for the rescue of the damsel in distress. The narrative even plays out in Reddit, okay? He comes in and equates the red pill reality that this guy dropped in there, that the dating pool pretty much dies at that point. But instead, the White Knight's playing the depressing card. Okay, it's not depressing. It would actually kick people into gear instead of dawdling around and bar hopping and fratting out till 29, thinking that things are going to work out once they get to that point. Okay, and as Paul Proteus talks about in Hypergamy Floats, a guy's not attracted to a female because of her job or her master's degree. A man can go out and get that for himself. Okay, that's not what he's looking for. The thing is, just like being too qualified for a job, a woman can make herself too qualified for a relationship. And I'm not creating this double standard that a woman shouldn't aim to learn more languages if they can. I'm just saying, if you know 4 languages, ladies, you're most likely going to expect that any guy that comes your way knows at least 5. It's just the case. And the last thing here, what going to the gym or being athletic actually means. SMV, sexual marketplace value. So what this means is that she doesn't want to go to the gym. And she knows that chicks go to the gym also to pick up guys. And guys go to the gym to pick up girls. It's just a more socially acceptable manner of picking up people than coming home and saying to mom and dad that you met her at the bar when you're asked at the dinner table how you guys met. The only difference is that the first date is going to be at the bar. It's not that you met at the bar. Just for a public relations sake, you make sure that it sounds good, so you hope to meet up at the gym. Okay, this is what it means. Also, she's not athletic. Okay, guys, don't look for athletic always. They look for attractive. Athletic happens to be viewed as that sometimes, but it's not always a prerequisite. It's just a cover-up in my eyes of what actually is the truth. Okay, secondly, we get a myriad of where did all these good men go lines, or all the time, a varying assortment of them, a myriad of them. And the thing is, it's combined with a statement that I've looked over here in bars, in clubs, and at gyms. Now, to think that people are expecting to get their soulmate in any of these places is a lie. They might be looking, but they're not expecting. Their heart of hearts. They're going to look, but they're not expecting. Again, they want that dopamine hit that week. And, work was really tough. I just got to go to the bar, see if somebody sees me of value because my boss doesn't. But when the relationship falls through, they don't reflect on the feeling before finding what seemed to be the perfect person in between a few cocktails, and they remember the honeymoon stage thinking, what went wrong with him? The thing is, you keep looking in bars. I don't know what else to say. Okay? Stop looking, I guess is what I'm saying today. I hate throwing identities away. When people throw their identity away, it's likely the worst thing that they can do. And constantly desiring and looking outside is the first step towards doing that. So thanks for listening today. Thanks for the Twitter message, man. I hope that it added something to the convo. And thanks for listening. And always, if you have a MGTOW testimony to share, Terrence Pop just dished out his to mine. It was an amazing story to receive. If you want yours to be told about how you came to MGTOW and what it has done to benefit you, you know where to hit me up. SunriseHoodie@gmail.com or on Twitter at SunriseHoodie. Hoodies up, hoodies out.